You're listening to Fountain of Thought with your hosts, Dennis Fountain and Sonny Rain. One small step for man, one giant leap for America.
This show contains adult themes and language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fountain of Thought podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything, just like Joe Biden at the microphone. Call in or leave us a voicemail on our listener line at 413-612-8037. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at TalkFOT. Subscribe to us on YouTube or Rumble, or visit our website at fountainofthought.com, where you're going to find contest registrations, shout-out requests, and so much more. And now, as always, I would like to welcome my co-host and broadcast partner, Mr. Sonny Ray. Sonny!
What's happening, Dennis?
Hey, Sonny, how are you today?
It's a beautiful day, and I'm doing very well, thank you.
A beautiful day in the neighborhood?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be my friend?
Oh, would you be my neighbor? Would you be my neighbor?
I think I want you to be my friend.
No.
I think I gained weight this week.
I will reserve comment.
That's nice.
So, for those of us that are watching and those that are listening, it might be a little bit difficult, but looks like you're at the Sanford and Son garage. Is that?
No, I'm visiting my uncle in Colorado.
Uncle Barry?
Uncle Sid.
Uncle Sid. Oh,
yeah.
Well, tell Uncle Sid that I said hi, and
I will. Yeah, when he wakes up.
When he's asleep right now.
Well, he's got that problem.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Runs
in the family?
It does.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of us are just better at it than others.
I see. Some of you are more professional at it than others.
Yes, and just a lot more professional.
A lot more professional. Okay, so I really didn't want to get into this topic quite just yet, but I got to tell you, it's been annoying me a lot, and I think it's time to talk about it. I want to talk about greed in America, and when is too much too much? It's just
too much too much.
Too much too much.
Only money.
Yeah, it's all about the money, and it's just, I don't know. I look at all of these people that are making these buku bucks and all of these people that are not, and listen, I don't think it's any big surprise out there that I'm a conservative. I believe that an employer should be able to run his or her business.
Whoa. You're a conservative?
I am.
Oh.
You leaving?
I quit.
You can't. Yeah. Please come back. Yeah. I believe that a business owner should be able to run their business the way they want to. And I also believe the government shouldn't step in and tell them, how much money they can make or how much money they have to give to their employees. Or, to be frank with you, this minimum wage thing drives me nuts too. Listen, I know that you have to do it or else there'd be slave labor that's out there. But people have to realize that when you push up the hourly wage, that company's going to just pass that on to the consumer. They're not going to eat it. And so I think there's a misnomer out there about what fair wages are and things. But that being said, the greed and the gluttony of these CEOs and financial gurus is ridiculous. And the conservative in me wants to say, hey, what's fair is fair. But the liberal in me, which is a little bit, I guess it's not liberal. It's just, smidge. It's not really liberal. It's just about what's fair.
Fair.
And looking at these companies' CEOs, I've had it, and I want to talk about it. So that's what the topic is today.
Where do we start?
Well, what I want to start with is, and I know this bores some people, and I apologize, but I really think I have to talk about this. I think I have to give you some facts and figures so you can understand where I'm coming from here. So to begin with, let me raise this up just a little. Sorry about that. So to begin with, what is the average American wage? And I think some of these numbers are going to shock you. Now, these figures are based on 2019. I couldn't find any current figures or more relevant figures, but they're based on 2019. In the United States, the average yearly salary is, I'm just going to round it, $52,000. Okay, that's the average. The median, however, is $32,000. So the difference is if you take the average of, the wealthy way up here and the poverty-stricken way down here, you get the average. I mean, we know how math works. The median is technically what the middle of it is, because you've got so many people that are making so much money that they bring up that average. So it's a skewed number per se. So roughly the average salary out there, and I'm going to call it, is about 35 grand, which is not a hell of a lot of money. In fact, I don't know how people would live off 35 grand. I mean, I suppose it can be done, but excuse me, I apologize. That's got to be difficult. So what's the lowest paying job? I think if you thought about it, you probably know. What do you think the lowest paying job is that's out there?
Working here for my Uncle Sid. No, really? I don't know. Lowest rate?
Yeah, the lowest paying job that's out there.
Well, technically it would be waitressing.
You are correct.
Tips. Yeah.
That's it. That's the lowest paid job. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the mean annual pay for someone in the food service is $22,140. So if you're out there and you're a waiter or a waitress or a cook, that's what you're making, 22 grand. That's not a lot of money. So let's keep this going. According to the Bureau,
I disagree with the cook.
Well, here's the thing. The cook is usually getting a set salary, most likely what the minimum wage is.
Depending on the class of the restaurant, too. I mean,
that's right. Well, a cook. I'm not talking about a chef, not an elite chef at a ritzy,
you're talking like a greasy spoon spatula boy at a local diner.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Now, how it works, I'm assuming people know this, but how it works in the wait staff is that you have to guarantee your employee minimum wage, but you don't have to pay them that. I think it's $3.15 an hour or something like. I forget. I don't know what that number is, but that's what the minimum wage is for servers. But including the tips, they have to make at least minimum wage. If not, then the business has to supplement that to bring it up to minimum wage.
Right.
So some places can make oodles of money. In fact, there was just this TikTok thing where this girl from Hooters was on, and she was showing everyone how much she makes a week, and it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So depending upon where you're waitressing or waitering, you could make a lot of money, but typically not. So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, jobs in the medical field pay the highest. No shocker there. We know that, doctors and those nurses make the most of money. Doctors make on average of $89 an hour. $89 an hour. So you might ask yourself, all right, so they're making pretty good. What job makes the most money per month? Well, believe it or not, it's not a doctor. It's
the most by month would be
You're not going to get this one because I didn't know it. Yeah, by month.
It has to be. I would say it has to be a CEO of a private company.
Well, I suppose. Well, yes, technically, and we're going to get into that a little bit. But not everyone is going to be a CEO. So there's only a few hundred. Let's keep it into the hundreds. There's hundreds of CEOs. There's thousands and thousands of other jobs. So it's an anesthetologist. They make on average of $411,000 a year. That's a lot of money.
As in a person who administers anesthesia?
Yeah.
Really?
$400,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and an estimated 63% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
Only money.
Yeah. And then the percentage of Americans that make less than $20,000 a year, 9.1% of Americans make under $15,000, and an additional 8% make between $15,000 and $25,000. So that's what, about 10%? It's just Those figures are scary. And here's the last figure on this particular topic, where I'm going here that's scary. The wealthiest 1% own 35.3% of the wealth in the United States. So they always talk about those 1%ers. Now, the conservative in me says, okay, that's great. I don't have a problem with that. Do you have a problem with that?
No, generally,
right.
No, I don't.
Right, because I think they should be allowed to make money. There's nothing wrong with it. They should make the money. Now, this is where it starts to piss me off, because when I talk about greed and too much is too much. Now, this is when the figures go completely bonkers. Okay, you're going to be shocked at this, and I think most of America would be shocked at this as well. So I only did the top 10. These are the wealthiest people, the top 10 wealthiest people in the world. Okay, in the world. 8 of them are here in the U.S. But the amount of money they make is just astounding. Elon Musk is number one. Okay, he makes $202.1 billion a year. $202 billion. That's with the B, folks. $1 billion a year. That's what he makes.
What does he primarily own?
He's the SpaceX guy and the Tesla guy.
Oh, Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tesla. And they just got a huge contract from Hertz. Hertz is buying $100,000 electric cars. That's for another show about how electric cars don't work. I mean, they actually work, but I mean, they're not the answer to gasoline.
They're not the solution to the problem.
Right. At least not yet, anyways, because technology's just not there. All right, so next is our buddy, Jeff Bezos. Jeff makes $191.7 billion a year.
How the hell does anybody live on something like that? I mean, God, poor man.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Terrible.
Just scraping by. All right,
next. Must be awful. I mean, how do you pick which car you want to take on Monday morning?
I know.
Do you look at the weather first, or consider what you're wearing, or maybe the Camaro clashes with your suit, so maybe you want to go with the Rolls Royce?
No, you don't take the car. You take the helicopter.
Well, if you're in a rush, you take the helicopter.
Yeah, take the helicopter. Yeah. All right. So next is Bernard Arnault and family. They make $175 billion, and they are they have 70 brands, including Louis Vuitton and Sephora. They're a fashion company per se.
A fashion company.
Fashion company. Pass the Grey Poupon.
Fashion company.
Yes. Next is Bill Gates. He comes in at number 4 with $131 billion. He's the Microsoft guy. Then we got Larry Ellison with $123 billion, and he's the CEO of Oracle. Next, we got Larry Page. He comes in at $120 billion. These are all B's, with B's. And he owns, I'm not too familiar with this, but he invested in Planetary Resources, the famed space exploration company, and it's funding flying car startup Kitty Hawk and Opener. I am unfamiliar with those companies. But
if you don't mind me interjecting.
Yeah, no, please.
It kind of makes sense, though, because the bees get all the honey. Get it?
Bum. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So coming in at number 7 is your personal friend, your best friend in the whole world, Mark Zuckerberg. And
You're a loser.
Good old Marky makes $118 billion. Number 8
You're a loser.
is Sergey. You're still in Facebook prison, are you not?
You suck.
Are you still in Facebook prison?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
This is my 4th trip in.
Yeah. Okay. Sergey.
You know what, not to get sidetracked, but it's not my fault. It's not my fault. If you're gonna put something up and you tell me I can't comment, come on. The temptation is too great. If it says something stupid, I have to point it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's my right as a journalist. My obligation.
It is. I agree.
Yes.
All right. So next is that's all right. Sergey Brin, $115 billion, and he is co-founder of Google, along with Larry Page. Warren Buffett is number 9, $103 billion. He's known as the Oracle of Omaha.
He's Margaritaville, right?
Sure, that's Jimmy's brother, Warren. He owns Geico Insurance, Duracell, Dairy Queen. He's the son of a U.S. congressman, and he bought his first stock at the age of 11. Isn't that nice?
Wow.
And then the number 10 on the list is Mukesh Ambani. I apologize if I'm butchering the name. He comes in at a small $102 billion. He's
Petroleum?
Yeah, exactly. He's the wealthiest person in India, and it's the petroleum business and telecom is what he's into now in retail. All right, so you look at the top 10, and number 1 makes $202 billion, and number 10 makes $100 billion. These are the owners of the companies, the CEOs, the bigwigs, all right? So you think, all right, well, there's only a few. It's just those guys, right? Right? Wrong.
Who was number 7 again?
Number 7 is your buddy Zuckerberg.
You suck.
You just wanted to do
clarify that.
Okay. So I'm gonna go through this list really quick because again I don't want to bore people, but these are the highest paid CEOs and executives.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know you hate these lists, but I have to because it's a point I'm trying to make. So I've got the highest paid CEOs and executives of 2020, and I'm just going to go through the list real quick, and I'm gonna round it. Okay. Sundar Pichai from Alphabet, $280 million as CEO. Robert Swan from Intel, $67 million. Lisa Su from AMD, $58 million. John Plant from Howmet Aerospace, $52 million. Robert Chapek from Walt Disney, $48 million. David Zaslav, Discovery, $45 million. Miguel Patricio, Kraft and Heinz Company, $43 million. Satya Nadella from Microsoft, $43 million. Lachlan Murdoch from the Fox Corporation, $42 million. And it goes on. It goes on. So the number 20 guy still makes $31 million. All right. So then I thought, well, how far does this go? Where do the millions keep going? I went all the way down the list to 100. On the list, the 100th person still makes $25.8 million a year. And she's Kate Adams, Senior Vice President at Apple. She's number 100 on the list, Sonny. And
so basically, where are you going with this?
What I'm going, okay.
Are you going the same place I'm going with this? Because my problem is when you say, sum up the name of the show, enough is enough. Is
right.
Certain people, they get to a certain point where, as far as I'm concerned, you're loaded. You don't have nothing to worry about. But then it turns from the interest in making money to the interest in competing, where it becomes, oh, I got to be better than the next guy. I got to do better. Oh, he gets this much. Well, then I got to make this much. Oh, he has this. Well, then I got to have this.
I agree that's happening. I know that's happening.
A lot of that is what gets on my nerves.
Right. Well, you just look at Elon Musk, who did the SpaceX thing. He just went up into space. And then you got your buddy there, Jeff Bezos, who just went up with Captain Kirk. And those guys are clearly competing. I mean, it's evident they're competing at each other. And I'm sitting there looking into this, and, this is pocket change for these guys to play like this. And this is the part that really bothers me, because it's disgusting greed, and too much is too much. And I'm not sure how you fix the problem, but they make so much money and they could solve so many of the world's problems. But let's just start in the United States, at the poverty level, at the homeless people, at the veterans. I mean, listen, it's not their responsibility as U.S. citizens to save the United States of America. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there's such a discrepancy that something needs to be done. And how I look at this is, remember in the old days, like your dad, he worked very hard. He'd get up in the morning, he'd go to work, punch a time clock, bust his ass for 8-9 hours a day, and, made a decent living. But what did he get? He didn't get, he got paid, but, at the end of his retirement, what did he get? A pension. So he worked for something. Not only are you working and you're getting paid, but there's something at the end. You get a pension, a retirement plan. Who has pensions these days? Very few people have pensions unless you have a great union working for you, and you're a United Auto worker, or you're a teacher, or something like that. And it's time.
I got news for you. My father was born in 1923. He retired as a production superintendent of a plant, and all he had for a pension was an annuity of $179 a month. That's what he worked his whole life for. So
Okay.
Not everybody gets it, and even back then they didn't get it.
I know.
It just depends if the company happens to offer that in their.
But he
perks.
got one, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, he did, but it wasn't nothing to.
Well,
write
no,
home about.
no, you're not going to. By the way, one of these guys, and I don't remember which one. I can go look at it, but one of these guys, he bought an island. He bought a whole island in Hawaii. He owns the whole freaking thing. And there's people that live on it. He just bought it. He just bought a whole island. I mean, that's disgusting. It's utterly disgusting that they have this much money and they don't pass that on to the workers. And this is where my heart is torn, because as a conservative, make the money. But now I'm looking at this and I'm going, this has gone too far. This is just way too far. When Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk can sit back and make $2 million a day. Let that sink in for a minute. A day. Oh yeah, I just made $2 million. Oh, all right. What am I doing today? Oh, I made another $2 million. That's I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily have the answer, but in my opinion, they have to give back to the workers. And I'm not saying it's entirely a salary-based thing either, but there should be some type of profit sharing or pension, something. If you work for a company that makes this kind of money, and look at, I just went through, there's 100 right off the bat, and they employ millions of people right there off the bat. Walmart's included in there too. They make tons of money, tons of it. And it's just not fair. And I know people can say, well, it doesn't have to be fair. Nobody ever said it has to be fair.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's a wacky theory to fix the problem. And this is off the wall, but think about it. Salary cap. Have a salary cap that you can only make. Like
sports.
Yeah, basically you can make only so much per year, and when you hit that point, it doesn't matter what you continue to do after that.
Right.
You can only make that's your limit that you can make for that particular year. So you can either take the rest of the year off, or if you do decide to do it, then you just continue to do it, but you don't make any more than that, and then give the rest of it to the people working under you. But see, there again, like you said, it's the whole capitalism comes into play, because then you're sitting there saying, wow, now you've got somebody telling you through rules and regulations you can't continue to make money. See, you have to do this with your money, and
right.
there's where the problem is. Unfortunately, when capitalism, it was designed to, it wasn't so far out of control. People made money. You had millionaires, but the levels were kind of still, here and here. Now it's either way up here or you're way down here, and there's not much in between.
Right. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yes.
But if you're a true capitalist, you can't fix that. Because the first person's going to sit and say, hey, look, it was my idea. I ran with my idea, and I got successful with my idea.
Right.
Why are you going to punish me because of that?
Well, I don't think you per se punish them, but that's why I don't think a cap would work, because then where's the incentive to do better?
I said it's just a hypothetically
but
ridiculous thing, but that's basically how you would have to do it, is just stop people from making past a certain point. But you do that, and you're automatically not capitalist anymore.
Here's my philosophy on businesses, and as owning several businesses, I will tell you that in my opinion, I don't like unions because I don't like being blackmailed. And that's what a union is. And I'm sorry. Go ahead. Send in the letters. Bring it on. That's what it is. A union is nothing but blackmail. When you can picket and walk out on force, that's nothing but blackmailing the company. All right. And I believe at one time they were probably needed. But in this day and age, I don't think they're needed anymore. And again, here's the thing. If you have a company and you run your company and you treat your employees like shit, people aren't going to want to work there. Even if you're paying a salary, they're not going to want to work there. But if you treat your employees well, you give them good benefits, you give them a decent pay scale, I know this sounds weird, but you're kind to them, that business as far as the employment go, will flourish because people are going to want to work there. Just like Apple. People want to work for Apple. They pay good, and they've got all of these pods. They give you the food is free. You just go in and take whatever you want. It's a good working atmosphere. And I believe that if you provide a good working atmosphere, you're going to get employees to come work for you. And that's the same incentive, I think, for the money part of this. So let them if they want to make $202 billion like Elon Musk a year, fine, go ahead. You can, and this is him personally. This isn't just not the company. The company makes 10 times that. But just him, he makes $202 billion a year. You want to make that kind of money, that's fine. Go ahead. But you have to give some of it back to the employees. You have to do it. And I don't care how it's structured, whether it's pension plans or, like I said, whether it's a retirement and I don't care how you do it. It doesn't matter. But you have to do something back, give back to the community. And I think that's going to help. And maybe you do regulate that you got to give so much to. But
that's the thing. You can't regulate. As soon as you step in, it's not saying a government or some other figure steps in and says you have to do this. Your capitalism's out the door. But let's just look at the problem and why this works like this. Okay, and as a perfect example, this is professional sports. At one time, if you got a player, you obtained a player, drafted a player, you signed a player, he was yours. And you kept that player and until they didn't serve you anymore, until you were ready to either let them go or trade them or what have you. And the problem began where a lot of players were playing for low market cities and they couldn't get out. So they screamed and screamed and screamed. The owners are making all the money. We're not making anything. We want free agency. Free agency being that we sign contracts with you, and then after the contract's over, it's okay for us to entertain offers from other teams who can afford it. So it all sounded like a great plan, but then what happened to professional sports? It flipped.
Yeah, it flipped.
It went from to solve the problem of the players being used and not making enough to now they're pigs. Now it's just not enough. Oh, he gets $150,000 per pitch. Well, I want $175,000 per pitch.
Right.
And it's out of control. I mean, when you look at guys like Mahomes for the Kansas City Chiefs, okay, like he seems like a good kid, and I don't have any problem with him. But 23 years old, and you hand him a $500 million 8-year or 10-year contract? I mean, that's absurd. Because and then where does that money get absorbed? That money gets absorbed in the fans, where you and I and every other middle class people who would like to just go to a game, we can no longer afford to go to the game. The only people who can afford to go to the game are other rich people.
Right.
So it's like you began the show. Somehow, some way, somebody else pays the price for it. So,
listen, I know, I don't know. I think you have to step in. You know how they come in, the government comes in and breaks up monopolies. Something has to be done about this, and I'm not sure. I don't have an answer. And you would think that if I'm doing a podcast, I'd have the answer. I don't. I don't have the answer, but I'm just bringing the awareness, which probably people know, but I don't think they really realize it, what damage this is doing to our country. It really is. It's hurting our country. And the gluttony is just beyond belief. And you look at people like, Bernie Sanders and those that are on the far left, and they come up with all of these ideas about free this and free that, and we got to do this and we got to do that. And that's not the answer either. And I understand.
Right, well, if we could create a utopia where, a fake place, and you wanted to look at it, you'd sit and say, where seriously is the problem? It's the problem that somebody gets something like Jeff Bezos, and he gets a company, and he gets a break, and everything, the cards all fall into place, and here he is. If you had a way of saying, okay, you've made this much money, now you're done, somebody else gets to take over the company, and they get to make their money, and when they're done, then somebody else can step in. It's kind of like politicians. That's what I hate politicians. They stay in office well into their 80s.
But that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, I know, but it's still on the money focusing of it. It's because they're hauling in all kinds of money, from this and from that,
right.
And it's never enough.
Right.
It's never enough. And that's the problem with these other big wigs. When you're $2 million a day, at that point, I would just retire. I would just go off and do nothing. Just do what I want to do. Travel the world, see things.
Go into space.
Well, but even that's still a venture for money. Because the end
what I'm saying.
The end game on that is going to be to charge other rich people
They
a
are.
whole truckload of money so they can fly them into space.
Right. All right.
And before you know it,
$500,000.
they'll be trying to build a hotel in the space.
Yeah, they're working on that.
It's never enough. It's just
China's going to
continues
build
go on
their
and on.
moon base Alpha and shoot them down anyway, so it's not going to last.
But our biggest dilemma is to sit and say, if we believe in capitalism, then you can't regulate. You gotta let people do
I
your own.
believe in capitalism, but and I do, and I think you have to have it, and that's one of the great things about being in America is that anybody can become a millionaire or a billionaire. It can happen to you. It is in the realm of possibility. I just don't know. Again, not to beat a dead horse, which we got to still name, is too much. And
Or take this point of view, okay? You look at companies, your typical companies and typical jobs that we saw growing up. Your first jobs, let's say, bag boy, supermarket, fast food restaurants, gas station attendants,
waiter,
all this
waitress.
kind of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But and it's always been, like you're going to go work for a gas station or a convenience store. Okay, you're going to get probably minimum wage, and and this is the way it's going to go. Now we hit a point in time where nobody wants to work, and all of a sudden these companies, they can find $20 an hour. All of a sudden, they can pay $20 an hour for you to come work for them, and we'll give you a sign-on bonus on top of that. Why? Because the shoe's on the other foot. Now they're hurting. They can't find the people. And now we'll open up our wallet. So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
It's again cheapness.
Listen, they're gonna eat some of that. Okay, they're gonna absorb, the owners of this company and the CEOs and the big wigs are gonna absorb some of that compensation. All right. So instead of paying $10 an hour, now we're gonna pay $20 an hour. That company is going to absorb some of that as a hit, but not all of it, because this is my whole point. They're pigs. They're pigs. They make $40 million a year. They're going to continue to make $40 million a year no matter what. If that means charging $15 for a Happy Meal, then that's what it's going to effing take for them to make $40 million a year. And if you don't like it, tough.
But then
that's my problem.
Yeah, but there's also comes a time that if you just continue to jack the prices, then you just put that particular product out of sight.
You could. But here's the thing. They're all doing it. Look at inflation right now. And on a side note, Sonny and I, we talk all the time. We talked about this earlier, okay? The cost of living has gone up and inflation has gone up. Same thing, kind of. All right? That's not necessarily a bad thing. Inflation going up is a good thing. Here's the problem, is when the worker's salary doesn't go up as much as the cost of inflation. That's a problem, because then there's a disparaging difference and you can't afford it. And that's what's happening. Even though some of these jobs are $15 an hour jobs, $20 an hour jobs, the price of inflation is beginning to skyrocket, and it's outpacing the cost of these wages. You can't have that. That's not right. And you have to look at America, and it's becoming a disaster. It really is, because there's no, in my opinion, there's no this racist crap that goes on. Yeah, there are some racist people in this country. I'm not going to say there isn't. I acknowledge, I'm not a moron. I acknowledge the fact that some people are racist.
There's pockets here and there,
right?
But for the majority of us,
exactly. No. You and I, we never thought about any racist anything. And here's a good example. If any of you out there watched The Rookie, all right, it's on ABC with Nathan Fillion. It's that cop show. I watched that for 2 seasons. And then I read an article about him being the only white person on the cast. And I went, huh? And I thought about it. And I went, holy crap, they're right. He was the only white person on that cast.
But you never thought about it.
Because they didn't make an issue of it. I accept it. It was just a thing that happened. Okay?
You watched the show. There was good characters.
Right, exactly.
End of story.
Yep, same thing like Star Trek, all right? And this is a God's honest true story. Someone said something about black people on Star Trek, and I went, they were talking about Next Generation. I go, well, you got Geordi, but other than that, there's no black people on Star. I forgot about Worf. It didn't even dawn on me that he was black. And what I'm saying is that I know there are racist people out there, but for the majority of Americans, I don't think that's an issue, and I don't think they are, okay? So that's not an issue. Again, that could be a topic for a whole other podcast. Another topic is this gay stuff that's going on, that could be a whole nother podcast. I don't think that's so much of an issue either. What I do think is an issue is this disparaging difference between income inequality. It's huge. And it's so huge that it's getting further and further and further apart from the 1%ers to the bottom. There's not very much middle anymore. And that's earlier when I talked about the average income versus the median income. There's not much there anymore. You got all of the rich people and poor people and very few people in between. And listen, trust me, the answer is not socialism. That is not the answer. The answer is to find a way to stop these CEOs and executives from being pigs. And I don't have an answer. I have some thoughts about it. But until that happens, I don't think anything is going to get better. I really don't. Because I'm sorry, they're pigs. They could be great people, and maybe they give a lot to society, then who knows? But when you're sitting there and you're making $200 billion a year, and there's people starving on the streets in the United States of America, something's wrong.
And it's been wrong for a long time now.
Yeah, and it's just getting worse. It's not getting better. That's the problem. It's not getting any better. And it just bothers me. It really does. And it's not that I'm jealous, because I know there's people who go, oh, well, you know, if you made $40 million a year, you'd be different. No, I wouldn't. I'm telling you. I might do some things differently. I'm not telling you I wouldn't live differently. I probably would. I would probably have a couple houses. I probably would. I might have, some more toys, like a quad or a Sea-Doo or something like that. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do that. I probably would. I know who I am. I know I like my toys. I have toys now. I like them. They're not $1 million toys. My toy's an Xbox. All right? Okay, I got things like that. But when it comes to the core of who I am, that's not going to change. I'm going to continue to give to society. I'm going to continue to help people.
Well, another thing, like I said, going back to before, is the only solution to the problem without losing capitalist views is forced retirement, meaning you can only make so much, and then that's it. You're out of the game. It's the same thing with, again, I go back to professional sports. Everybody talks about Tom Brady, okay, his career, and look at him, he's 20 years, and he still looks good, and he can still play the game. I agree, and it's all true, and he's still very good, very effective. I get all of that. But what's the downside of it? The downside of it is, because he's playing all of these years, it's preventing some other kid from coming up and making his fair share at the money. So he's hauling this all in and holding up one of the 30 positions of starting quarterback. And people don't look at that. And that's the same thing when you look at businesses. You have to consider it the same way. If somebody's in this particular business and their company is thriving and they continue to make it, that's preventing somebody else from stepping in. But if you had a way of saying, all right, that's as much as you can make, and once you make that much, okay, now you have to retire, and then somebody else comes up in the ranks, and they take over that company, and then they can make their money. At least, you're still talking about a company being wealthy, but at least the wealth would be distributed better. Otherwise, if you start saying, well, you got to give this to this one, then you are heading down a slope of socialism, because now you're making laws and rules how you have to, what you have to do with your money. So it's like you said, there's really there's no real answer to it other than you tell people this is as much you can make, and that's it. Period.
Well, I think there's an answer, but we need some think tank to get together, and not politicians, but we need some think tank of people, again, common sense people, you, me, some other people need to get together and try to figure this out, because it's a problem. And
the problem for me, and we've had this discussion a million times, is the fact that the whole money situation, I can never wrap my head around it, because my whole brain works on the idea of, like, if you like it was hundreds of years ago, you were in a small town, if you were the cobbler and I was the blacksmith and this one was the school teacher, everybody kind of just did their thing and did each other. And okay, well, if you give me some grain, I'll put shoes on your horse, and I'll fix your shoes.
We weren't
if
pigs, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. But that's the way a harmony of society worked. now we've got to a point where one person does it all.
It's a narcissistic society.
And then you said it earlier about breaking up monopolies. Well, that's another thing. Instead of breaking up monopolies, stop letting people continue to devour other companies within their company and getting into things, such as, you have a company like Amazon, and then next thing you know, well, you can't find the right delivery company, UPS or FedEx or United States Postal Service. That ain't working for you, so you've got so much money, I'll just deliver it myself. So I'll buy the fleet of trucks and I'll do it myself. Well, then you're cornering the market on delivery and product. People would say, "Oh, well, that's a good thing." Well, no, because eventually, what's next? When he gets to a city or something and he doesn't like the way the police are treating him, he's just going to buy the police station and they're all going to work for him.
Well, I
mean, that's the danger of when you get to that kind of money, is that eventually you just buy anything.
Yeah, and I think there needs, I think as much as I hate big government, I think there needs to be some government that comes in and steps in and says, all right, you can only own one multi-billion-dollar company. You can't own any more. But then I'm sure they're going to find some politician to pay off under the table that will vote against it. It's just, it's you know what? This is, and I say this, and I really do mean this. They're pigs. They're gluttonous effing pigs, all right? And it really annoys me, and annoys me that we can't fix this as America, because I look at this country and I think this is the best country in the world. I love this country. I wish we... To quote Rodney King, I wish we could just all get along and not be such gluttonous pigs about it. I really do. I don't know. I'm not going to beat this topic to death, but it's probably too late for that because I probably did it. But that's my opinion. That's what I think on the subject. And until we stop the gluttony, I don't think there's going to be an answer, because I think they're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah,
I really do. Yeah.
All right. Why don't you just come on over and we'll go in my Uncle Jed's garage and start a car and shut the door.
I thought it was Sid.
What?
I thought it was Uncle Sid. Now it's Uncle Jed?
As far as you know. Sid.
As far as I know. Sid, Jed. You got the Clampets over there?
Jethro's going to be coming out the Pumpcast anytime now.
All right, folks, that's going to do it on this topic. We're going to come back with some more fun and games as usual. We're going to take a commercial break right now, and we will be back after I fly away on a wing and a prayer.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Fountain of Thought podcast, listen you will. Funny they are. Talk about anything and everything they do. Wit and charm DJs Dennis and Sonny have. FountainofThought.com, website you go. There is no try, only do.
All right, welcome back, everyone. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor or advertising on our show, drop us an email at talkfot@gmail.com or give us a call at 413-612-8037. Sonny, you've relocated?
It started raining.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That looks a little messy over there. But
it's actually clean.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to help him or
no?
Okay, that's what I thought.
The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Yes, true or false headlines.
All right, everyone. True or false headlines is sponsored by the Ludlow Lions Club. Do you want to help those in need in your neighborhood and not be a filthy, disgusting pig like some of these CEOs? Couldn't resist. Volunteer to help today. You can learn more at their Facebook page by visiting ludlowlions.org or by calling 754-900-ROAR.
I didn't know if I should throw an oink in there or not.
Yeah. So,
Only money.
So I got some great headlines for you today. Are you ready?
They all about pigs?
Well, no, I should have thought that. But one is true, one is false, and you're going to tell me which is which. And here we go. Bush grows massive thorn in the shape of a penis, or penis plant blooms for the first time in 25 years.
I'll go at number one, the bush plant.
Penis plant blooms for the first time in 25 years. A rare penis plant has come into the bloom at a botanical garden in the Dutch city of Leiden. Experts believe that this is only the third time the aptly named Amorphophallus decus ciliae has bloomed in Europe. The plant is notoriously difficult to grow and requires a very warm but only moderately humid environment, according to the Hortus Botanicus Botanical Garden. A volunteer at the Botanical Garden originally planted the penis plant, which is native to the jungles of Indonesia, in 2015. After a more than 6-year wait, the plant, which blooms at intervals of up to 10 years, kind of like your sex life, finally showed the first signs it was going to bloom in September. It finally did late last week, but only for a few days. Because the plant itself is so rare and a few botanical gardens have the penis plant in their collection, observing a blooming plant is a very special occasion. In years when the plant does not bloom, it collects energy by only making leaves and storing food in tubes. After blooming, the leaf growth cycle begins again. And we do have... There we go. We do have a picture of the penis plant, and it is also on our website if you care to go look. Yeah. Don't get too excited over this penis plant.
It sounds like a lot of horcus to me.
Yeah, a lot of horcus. Okay. All right. So here is the next one. Man accidentally cuts off a testicle while shaving, or man gets Guinness record for balls caught in shaving cream.
What's the second one again?
Man gets Guinness record for balls caught in shaving cream.
I'm going to go at number one, even though I don't understand why people want to spend time shaving their balls.
You are incorrect. A pair of Idaho men reclaimed a Guinness World Record when one of them threw 35 ping pong balls at the other, caught in a mass of shaving cream on his head. David Rush, who has broken more than 200 Guinness records to promote education, originally teamed up with Jonathan Hollywood Hannon to set the record at 29, but their record was broken just a few months later by another duo who managed to make 32 catches in 30 seconds. Rush and Hannon took on the record again, this time with Rush throwing the balls and Hannon attempting to catch them in a mass shaving cream on his head. The two men were able to recapture the record with 35 ping pong balls thrown in 30 seconds. And there you have a picture. And again, this is on our website. For those of you that are listening, you can go to fountainofthought.com and check out that picture. So,
That's news to me.
I want to know how much shaving cream that you use. Do you use a lot? Do you like to foam it up there? Do you like just...
I like the slop all over the place.
You like the slop all over the place?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So basically one throws the balls and the other's the catcher.
Yeah, and if you look at the picture, he did it in like a cone. It's kind of... who would think of this? I don't understand, and why anyone would think of this and why it would be a Guinness record. I mean, it used to be, Guinness record for like hula hoops or running or something, but this is ridiculous.
Okay, all right. Now these two clowns are sitting around this, whatever it is. This is a garage or something, and one of them just says, "Oh, dude, like I got this great idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put shaving cream all over my head, and then you're gonna throw balls on me."
Yeah, ping pong balls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no drugs involved here. I guarantee that.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't have an answer. I'm sorry. All right. Sonny and I will each pick a contestant to play for and then volley 3 movie sound clips at each other with a chance to earn a point for title, character, and actor. If we correctly identify all 3, 5 points will be awarded. We're allowed 1 clue and 1 pass per game. Each week, the winning contestant's name will be entered into our $25 gift card giveaway. You want in on this? Register for all our contests at fountainofthought.com. And this week, since Halloween is tomorrow, we are going to stick with the Halloween theme and do horror movies.
Horror movies.
So...
You're a loser.
Gee, I don't want to scare people. I want to be friendly.
Okay, you can be friendly. Sonny, you are playing for Linda Tammy.
All right, Linda Tammy.
And the brains of the operation and the best-looking one here on this show is playing for Andrew Dynak. Andrew Dynak, D-Y-N-A-K. Andrew Dynak.
And what episode are we on, and how many of these contests have you won this season?
Episode 6, and
you've won how many?
I haven't won
because
I don't want to show off. No.
You're a loser. You're a loser.
I just don't want to show off,
I see.
All right. I believe you go first this week.
I am going to go first just because I want to go first.
Okay.
So here is your first clue. Are you ready?
I am ready. Bring it on.
Here it is.
Okay.
Don't you see? He's got us now. Okay, this is exactly what he wants. We can't go to the police. Not now. He's made sure of that. He's just out there and he's watching us and waiting. What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
I'm gonna stop right now and say that I don't know the actress. I don't know the role she played. I think I'm gonna go with Scream. All right. Thanks for that.
That would be a big triple loser.
Okay, and care to share with me?
Oh, you wanted to know?
Yeah, I did want to know.
That was Jennifer Love Hewitt in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, the same thing as Scream. Same movie.
And she played, what the hell is her name? Julie James.
Julie James?
Julie James.
All right, here is yours.
Like Jesse James.
Jesse James, but Julie. Okay, here's yours.
Can you smell the circus, Georgie? There's peanuts, cotton candy, hot dogs, and popcorn. Is that your favorite?
Uh-huh.
Mine too. Because they pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, pop, pop.
It's Yoda on crack. You're lucky I don't know the actor's name because it would be a big $5 for me. It is Pennywise in It.
All right. I was just giving me the points for that one. I got to correct that. That is correct. It is It, Pennywise, and the actor is Bill Skarsgård.
Skarsgård, yes.
Dennis gets 2 and Sonny gets 0. All right.
Yeah, okay. There's your second one, big guy.
All right.
See, I got this cousin who lives near the airport. It's okay for me to stay with, right? And I got the sound effects tape from Rod. Hello, Mom? Yeah, out here at Barry's. Huh? Yeah, noisy as usual. Glad we don't live here, huh? Yeah, Aunt Eunice says hello. Right, I'll call you in the morning. Yeah, sure.
Okay, I do not know the character's name, but it's a Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was her boyfriend, the guy from 21 Jump Street. And what the freak is his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name. Wait, give me a second. You know what? No, I don't want a clue. Just play it one more time for me.
See, I got this cousin who lives near the airport. It's okay for me to stay with, right? And I got the sound effects tape from Rod. Hello, Mom? Yeah, out here at Barry's. Huh? Yeah, noisy as usual. So Abby don't live here, huh? Yeah, Aunt Eunice says hello. Right, I'll call you in the morning. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna go with Nightmare on Elm Street and Johnny Depp, but I don't know Glenn or Gary or something like that. I don't know. Ooh!
You got your first 5-pointer. Woo!
That's only because I like
Glenn
that
Lance.
movie and I've watched it. Was
Glenn
it Glenn
Lance?
Lance?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here is numero dos.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for, if not for shedding?
This is an easy one for you.
It's Candyman, who plays Candyman, who is played by Tony Todd.
I will give you Candyman and Tony Todd, but I need the person's name. He has a name.
But he's also Candyman, so technically I have it. That's your screw up, not mine, pal.
I don't. Well, I know it. No,
If they
how is
call-
that my
if they-
screw up?
Because if they call out Candyman, he appears, which means that is also his name. It's kind of like, Sonny Rain and other names that I have. It's the same principle. You see,
As far as you know.
As far as you know, and I know.
So I'll be generous and I'll give it to you because you were generous and didn't ask for the last name of Glenn. So I'll be generous.
You're so good to me.
Yeah. All right. So 7 of 5, and his name on the show is Daniel Robitel. Daniel Robitel.
What, did they say that like once and muttered under their breath somewhere?
Well, actually, they said it several times because they were going through the paperwork. But
by the way, I hate that movie.
Really, I like the original. I like Candyman. That's a good movie.
God, it's so boring.
But apparently, Wheel of Fortune is in an uproar right now because that was one of the clues. It was Candyman, 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 Candyman. What do you say it 5 times, right?
5 times, yeah.
So it was up there 4 times, and they got all kinds of flack over it. I don't know why people are bent out of shape over Candyman, but look it up. Wheel of Fortune, they're pissed off.
Must be Aaron Rodgers' fault.
Yeah. Okay. Next.
Okay, here you go.
Hi, I'm from room 11, and me and my lady friend need some ice, and we don't seem to have an ice bucket. If it's not too much trouble, could I possibly borrow yours? I'll bring it right back. Sure. Thank you.
I'm gonna pass. Pass.
I knew you were gonna pass.
Yeah, I have no clue what that one is.
It's Richard Gecko. Richard Gecko from Dusk Till
21
Dawn.
Jump Street, but okay, yeah, all right.
No, Dusk Till Dawn. It was Quentin Tarantino.
Okay. Hey, wait a minute. It was Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
That's
Quentin
the role he
Tarantino.
played?
Quentin Tarantino played Richard Gecko.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Richard
Opposite
Gecko is
of-
an actual actor. You know that, right?
Well, the character's name in the movie is Richard
Really?
Gecko.
Oh,
they
I
were
thought-
brothers. Him and Clooney were brothers. The other one was
Right.
I can't remember his first name, but that's
Okay.
one of the only ones
All
I've
right.
seen Quentin Tarantino actually act in. So,
Okay.
but you passed, so we'll go to this one.
Yep.
Look, you can't put the Superman number 77s with the 200s. They haven't even discovered red kryptonite yet. And you can't put the number 98s with the 300s. Laurie Morris hasn't even been introduced.
Where the hell are you from? Krypton?
Phoenix, actually. But lucky me, we moved here.
All right, I'm going to need a clue, please.
You're going to need a clue, please. It's a vampire movie. That's a good clue.
Play it one more time, please.
Look, you can't put the Superman number 77s with the 200s. They haven't even discovered red kryptonite yet. And you can't put the number 98s with the 300s. Laurie Morris hasn't even been introduced.
Where the hell are you from? Krypton?
Phoenix, actually. But lucky me, we moved here.
I'm gonna say it's I don't know. I Fright Night. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know.
That was Corey Haim in Lost Boys playing Sam.
I don't like that movie.
I don't like that movie. I don't like
Didn't-
that movie.
Didn't like that
How could
movie.
you not like? How do you like Candyman? Not like Lost Boys?
No, I didn't like Lost Boys, and I didn't like the acting in it. Tell you the truth, but
oh my god,
yeah, oh my god! All right, you got one left, and
God.
I don't know if I gave you this last week. Will you be honest? And if I gave this to you last week, will you tell me?
Of course, I won't be honest. I'm going to lie through my teeth, just like every politician in the United States does.
Fine, I'm going to give you this one then, because I don't. All right, here goes.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
It's Nightmare on Elm Street. I couldn't tell you the characters. I hated all those movies.
Oh yeah, you hated all those movies. How do you hate all those movies? That's it? Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give you the 1 point for that. It is Nightmare on Elm Street. The character is Nancy Thompson, and it's played by Heather Langenkamp. So, you lose.
Okay.
The score is Sonny with 5 and Dennis with 8.
Want a bonus one that I got left over?
Sure, give me a bonus one.
Okay.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues, and they shake their heads, and they suggest, oh, so very delicately. It's not as if she were a maniac or a raving thing. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
No.
Okay, I'll let you know next week.
Thanks. So you win. So Linda, Tammy, you will be entered into our $25 gift card giveaway.
It's time to dig deep. That only means one thing. It's time for questions from my sack.
All right. I will tell
Still
you this
using
week,
that same sack again, aren't you?
Still using the same sack. I will tell you there are no questions in this sack. Yes, this week's questions are rigged. They are rigged by me. I'm asking the questions this week.
But there's a lot of pork in this.
No pork. But I thought because of Halloween, I would stick to something relatively themed that way. And the first question is, what scares you the most, or what are you afraid of? Your chair?
I'm so fat, my chair is sinking.
What scares you the most, or what are you afraid of?
What am I truly afraid of?
Yeah. What scares you the most, or what are you truly afraid of?
Losing my mind.
Losing your mind. That's actually a good one. I don't know. I thought about this, and I don't know. I'm probably more scared of losing, and it's happened, but losing family members. I guess that probably is what scares me the most. Not that it's wicked insight into my soul, but I guess that's what it is. Yeah. All right. Next one is, what is your favorite Halloween candy? What's your favorite Halloween candy?
As in, like, if you're going trick-or-treating?
Yeah, if you went trick-or-treating, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
Well, since I haven't been trick-or-treating since I was a kid, I used to like sweet tarts.
Ooh. Sweet tarts and bottle caps. Remember those circle bottle caps? Oh, I loved those. Yes.
But the sweet tarts came 3 in the little snack thing. There's
Yeah.
3 little pieces in the thing. I used to love those.
Yeah, bottle caps. For trick-or-treating, bottle caps. I absolutely
Remember
love
Pixie
those.
Sticks?
I do remember Pixie Sticks, yeah.
But that was like crack for children.
Yeah. They still sell those. They still have
Really?
those. Yeah. Yeah. Your least, this is not on the list, but your least favorite, mine is candy corn. I hate that stuff. That's disgusting.
Candy corn. The guy who does the God, I can speak English sometime today, right? Hannity, not Hannity. The guy who does the morning show for Newsmax. He loves candy corn. I was watching this yesterday. And they're all ranking on him, but he loves candy corn. I'm like, oh my God, no. That, and I used to get really pissed when somebody would put a cornball.
Yeah, cornball
in my
or
bag.
black licorice. I don't like black licorice.
Or black. Well, I don't know. I used to like Good and Plenty.
Yeah, no. All right, final question is, have you ever seen a ghost?
I saw a lot of things when I was drunk. So,
well, not hallucinations. In reality, have you ever seen a ghost?
I don't know. I've had some questionable things, but whether it can actually tag them as a ghost, I don't know.
I had an incident one time. I was still living at home, and in the doorway, I was asleep on the couch, and in the doorway to my living room, there appeared this something. Appeared. It was dark. All the lights were on. The TV, everything was off. It was all dark, and this, I don't know, black figure of some kind appeared in the doorway. And initially, I was startled and scared. And this is going to sound really stupid, and people are going to say I'm really crazy, but I didn't know what it was. But all of a sudden, this calmness and peacefulness came over me. And I don't know, I can't explain it, but to me, and it's going to sound weird, it was Jesus Christ. I don't know. That's the only supernatural thing that's ever happened to me. I'm going to say I was 12 or 13, somewhere in that vicinity. But yeah, that's the only thing I've ever experienced. I mean, I've gotten chills before, but I've never, not because I think there's a ghost. That's the closest I've come to that. So
well, Ronnie DeFeo, he talked to a ghost, and they apparently told him to go slaughter his entire family.
Well,
so you got to watch out for some of those ghosts.
I was happy mine didn't talk to me. He just stood there and,
Yeah.
Okay.
Sonny's pet peeve
of the week.
What you got for us this week, big guy?
Not so much now because I'm living on my own at the moment, but when I shared a domicile with other people, nothing would irk me more than when I went in to get myself a nice glass of a cold drink, and I'd go get some ice cubes, and I'd pull the ice cube tray out, and there'd be one cube in there, and the rest of them will be all empty. Now, how much effort does it take when you're the last person in, you use the tray, to just put some more water in it and put it back instead of, no, let's just leave it empty, and then we'll leave it for the next poor bastard when he comes in, and then he can do it.
You need to get with this millennium and get a refrigerator that makes ice.
Well, and someday when I make a lot of money like some of those pigs, I may be able to afford one of those. Right now, I'm lucky I can put a piece of ice in the bottom of a cooler and keep things cold. But yeah, I hate when people don't refill the ice.
That's rude.
Trays.
It's just rude.
And I don't know why I thought about that today, but it just happened to cross my mind. I said, I'll have to talk about that tonight. So that there is my pet peeve of the week.
All right. Wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
I do have a final thought.
Oh, okay.
It's in the form of a question. Do you really think cow farts are causing climate change?
Yes, absolutely. I do. That and lambs. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next week on Fountain of Thought Podcast. Leave your opinion, your thoughts on our listener line. And remember, everyone, be a fountain.
Not a drain. Excellent. He's a ding dong.
Hello?
What's your language, bud? We're on the air.
2 in the box, ready to go. You be fast, maybe slow.
That does not compute.
When I first met Dennis, I thought, this is my pimp.
I got a bad feeling about this.
You're a loser.
Run, Forrest, run!
You sound like an idiot.
I don't want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood
sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is! Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?